How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the case of Stephon Clark, a 22-year-old black male who was shot and killed by police right around this time last year, March 2018. Now, this case has caught the eye of the national media, local media, a lot of the subversive groups like Black Lives Matter who want to make this case be one of police brutality. They want to say, well, Stephon Clark, he was a young man who was killed by police for no reason. It didn't have to be that way. All he had was a cell phone on him. They thought it was a gun. They kill him in cold blood. They should be locked up. The facts of the case, the reality of the situation totally goes against that narrative. Now, there's a lot of emotion behind this, a lot of raw feeling and passion. You had 84 people arrested yesterday protesting this particular case, but the reality of the situation is much different than the emotional outcry from the black community and other communities that feel like this was a miscarriage of justice. Now, the reason why you had to protest yesterday is because you've had the Sacramento District Attorney Anne-Marie Schubert, who said that there will be no charges filed against the officers that shot Stephon Clark. Okay. And again today, which is Tuesday, March 5th, the California Attorney General, who, by the way, is extremely liberal, a never Trumper, Xavier Becerra, echoed her statements and gave a press conference with actual information from the case to support his point. Let's go back to March 2018. Why was Stephon Clark shot? What was the situation? What was the context? What was the reason all these unfortunate series of events took place? The police were called out to where Stephon Clark lives or where his grandmother lives because of a vandalism complaint. Stephon Clark was randomly smashing out people's windows in the neighborhood, just randomly. I'm not really sure why, because it didn't say that he stole anything from the cars, but he was randomly smashing out windows. So here comes the helicopter, or the helicopter might have already been in the sky. They're catching him on camera doing certain things, okay? At a certain point, when the police are chasing him, the helicopter is watching. He goes into different backyards, hopping fences to eventually get to his grandmother's house. On his way to his grandmother's house, he busts out a window, that the back door, the sliding glass door with a cinder block. He does not enter the premises or take anything from the immediate vicinity of the broken window, the door, but he does smash the window. So, okay, first thing, you have a guy smashing out windows to cars randomly. Second thing, he's smashing out sliding glass doors to people's houses. That's not his house. He does not live in the place where the door was smashed out. He finally winds up in his grandmother's house, and at that point, he takes out his phone, and I guess it has a light maybe on the screen or a flashlight on the back. I guess where the camera is. The police, of course, they've been chasing him. He's smashing out windows and sliding glass doors. They thought it was a gun muzzle, so they fire on him, and unfortunately, he dies. As a result of that, people are saying that it's a police brutality case. His mom came out and said, well, it didn't really matter what he was doing before or his mental state. It shouldn't matter because it was a case of homicide and they should be prosecuted for, I guess, murder in a situation. But that doesn't really make any sense. What he was doing most certainly matters, because why would you be breaking out people's windows in their cars randomly? Why would you smash out somebody's sliding glass door? For what? What are you doing? Why are you running from the police while at the same time doing these things to people's houses and their cars? Okay. And then beyond that, he was already wanted by police because his girlfriend, who, by the way, he had 2 kids with, unfortunately for them because her father is gone, and for the young lady because her boyfriend or husband was gone, she called the police on him because of another case of domestic violence. Another one, he had been beating her, and she called the police on him again. And as a result of that, he was texting her back and forth, which records show that he didn't want that to happen. He might kill himself. He may take certain types of substances to kill himself to not go back to jail. I'm not sure if it was a third strike or whatever the case may be, but he did not want to go back to jail, which explains the running. He's not running because he is scared of the police necessarily. He's running because he doesn't want to go back to jail. He knows if they catch him, it's back to the penitentiary. He doesn't want that life. Could have been suicide by a cop. because why else would you pull out your phone and flash a light at the police? Okay, you don't have a gun on you, but you have that which may look like a gun. So you're trying to get shot right there. Maybe to you, dying is better than going to jail. I can't really call it, but whatever the case may be, he was suicidal. He did have a record prior to that, and he did not want to go back to jail for domestic violence, according to his own words. So that is really the reason why he was running, to not go back to jail. It wasn't because of anything else. People are trying to say, oh, well, he didn't know who was chasing them. It could have been anybody. I mean, come on. You have a helicopter in the sky. You have the police shouting demands at you. You know why you're being chased. Let's not play games here. You can hear the helicopter above you. It makes a very loud sound. If it's low enough to be able to capture you on video with heat-seeking technology, you can hear it. You can hear the police as well shouting commands. Stop running. You know what's going on. But people just want to latch on to this really because of emotion. They feel connected to it in an emotional way. They feel like this is police brutality. The reality is that it's not. This man, I don't know if he was on drugs. I don't know if he was just really having a bad time mentally at that moment, but he was a danger to himself and to others. Imagine if he broke the sliding glass door, which he did, and then entered the home. What then? What if he is about to go into another house at the point where he stops? They don't know whose house that is. They don't know his grandma lives there. He could have been trying to go into another house to break into there and commit another crime, to hurt somebody or to hurt himself. So, I mean, the police acted properly. It's unfair for people to try and label them as murderers or something like that. There are cases of police brutality that happen, just like Walter Scott out there in South Carolina. That was a real case. That cop deserved to get what he got. Unfortunately, people like the Walter Scott cop paint a picture that some people want to use for all police. Police in my life, just a personal anecdote here, I never had any problems. I've lived in all black areas, lived in low income areas, never had any problems because I don't behave like Stephon Clark did. I don't run from the police. I'm not breaking people's windows. I'm not breaking people's sliding glass doors. I'm just not doing it. I'm behaving properly, therefore I'm treated properly. Now, is that always going to stop police brutality? Of course not. But how often does that happen? You'd be more likely to get hit by a train or something like that. Seriously, let's focus on the more important things in the black community, like the abortion rate. 34% of abortions in America are performed on black women, despite them being only 13% of the population. I mean, really, the total population of people, of human beings, is only 13%. Okay? But 34% of abortions are performed on black women. All right? You got more black babies being aborted than born in cities like New York and other places around the United States. The birth rate is lower than replacement rate, but we're worried about the handful of times throughout the past 20, 30 years where a black person was shot and killed by police when it was not just. And then because we're so desperate to make the claim of police brutality be a real thing, we lump in cases of legitimate police involved shootings with police brutality to inflate the number and make ourselves feel better and make our case stick more. But the reality is that it makes our case look weaker because we're crying wolf. And the more you cry wolf, the more people start to disbelieve you. They say, okay, you keep crying wolf about the situation, I don't believe you anymore. You cried wolf this time, just with the Michael Brown hands up, don't shoot. You cried wolf that time with Stephon Clark. You cried wolf here, there, everywhere. So why should I believe the true and legitimate case of police brutality? As I close, I want to say this. There are so many cameras everywhere. People are so quick to judge a police officer. Officers now are more risk averse. You understand? Because they don't want to have a situation where they got to shoot and kill somebody and then their life is over. They should be able to do their job to protect citizens of the United States in an effective way without risking losing their life, losing their livelihood because somebody or some people say that they worked improperly, although they didn't. They didn't want to get put in front of a kangaroo court and tried unjustly. I don't think any of us would. So what do you think? Do you think that Stephon Clark's shooting was justified? If so, please explain to me why. Do you think it was unjustified? If so, please explain to me why. And on both sides of the argument, give me some facts. I mean, I have links in the box below this video. You can check out for yourself and read it. It's not from biased sources. I got local papers in California, the LA Times, liberal papers now, not even anything that's so-called conservative, right-wing or nothing like that. I got neutral, AP, Reuters, stuff like that. You can read it for yourself. Look at the information, look at the facts, look at what was really going on during the whole situation, and then make your mind up. Was this legitimate? Was it illegitimate? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.